Hi guys, in this tutorial I'll be teaching us how to make this statement sleeve. It can also be called an exaggerated sleeve, and the sleeve is divided into two parts. So I'll be explaining to us how to cut and sew it. Just before we do that, make sure you're following us on all our social media handles. On Instagram, Welala, on Facebook, Welala. We have a sewing group on Facebook where we exchange ideas on different topics on sewing. Cut and sew by Welala. Yeah, you can follow us there. Also on Pinterest, you can follow us on Pinterest. Yeah, so thank you so much. Now let's get started with our tutorial. Now to make this sleeve, you need to know how to draft a basic sleeve. Okay, so I have done that in my previous tutorial. I'll be dropping the link in my description box on how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. So we're going to be using this basic sleeve pattern, to adapt our new working pattern now. Okay, so once you draw the basic sleeve, next thing is you want to draw slash lines on the basic sleeve. So you open it up like so and draw your slash lines. So you can have up to 8, 9, 10 slash lines, but I restricted mine to just 5 slash lines. So you can see the direction of my arrows. Now I'm going to use my scissors to cut through those slash lines, and this is what you are going to have, something like this. Yeah, so you're going to have something like this. Okay, so if you're using a thick fabric, you can use, cut this without cutting lining, but I'll be using lace fabric to cut mine, so I'll also be cutting the lining for it. Yeah, so this is my lace fabric. Okay, so what you do, you're going to place the pattern on your fabric, spread out, and then you're going to use your tailor's pin to pin down and cut out like so. Okay, so you can see I already transferred my pattern to my fabric. Now we're going to go ahead to sew. So to sew it, we're going to start with the upper part first. This is it here. Okay, so now what you do is you're going to cut out a cuff, which will be the lower part. So for the cuff, you're going to measure your sleeve wrist opening, or first of all where the first part of the sleeve will stop, and then your wrist circumference like this. Okay, you're gonna measure both things. So for the upper part of the cuff here, I'll be measuring half of my elbow circumference or bicep measurement. Then here will be half of my wrist opening, okay, plus 1 inch for side seam allowance. Yeah, so that's for the lower part of the sleeve, which is also called the cuff. All right, so next thing is I'm going to notch my cuff like this to get the center point. Okay, I'm also going to notch the lower part of my sleeve. That's the main sleeve itself. I'll also be notching it. Okay, so once I do that, I'm going to pin it together with my pin, and then obviously because of the slash and spread technique, you can see that the upper part of the sleeve is actually wider, so you're going to create like a pleat or a gather. So I'm gathering back the sleeve into the cuff, okay, like so. So I'll be doing that with my sewing machine. Okay, so after doing that, this is what you're going to have here. You can see. So if you want this to be fuller, you could actually spread it out the more. So this is my sleeve. Now I'm going to fold my sleeve into 2. You can see my lining underneath there. The lining gives it some form of fullness. So I'll just fold my sleeve into 2 like that, and then sew my 1 inch side seam allowance, and then attach it to the dress you would like to wear it. So this is my own version of the sleeve. I made a pencil dress with collar. So if you would like to learn how to make the collar on this dress, I have done a detailed tutorial on how to draft and cut and also sew a shirt collar with the stand. Yeah, so that should help. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.